Hey, welcome into the very first Daily Illini football pregame show of the Lovie Smith regime. How exciting is that? We've been talking about this for months and months and months, and now here we are, Saturday afternoon at exactly 12 o'clock, just about 2 hours and 42 minutes until we will see Lovie Smith's Illini take the field. I'm Kevin McCarthy with producer man Jeff Omer, Peter Bailey-Wells, Ryan Wilson doing social media. You can interact with us there at DI_sports. Once again, that's at DI_sports. Tweet us your questions, comments, concerns, what you're having for lunch, whatever. We also got Cole Henke and Charlotte Carroll here. So a full house. How we doing, guys?
And it's worth pointing out, listeners, that we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, we would.
217-337-1071. Call us. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. I have to say, Grange Grove looks quite lovely this morning. I went down there about an hour and a half ago, and it is hopping. Not quite hopping, but it's definitely sunny and nice out there. The bags are set up. The tents are set up. The kegs are tapped. Everything looks like it's tailgating season is back.
It's exciting. You can pay $5 for a Coors Light draft day here at the Beer Garden, or you can bring your own beer.
The menu is more expensive. It might be more expensive. The menu is more extensive than that, and I would encourage go look at it for yourself because I want to say 16 ounce.
16. Well, whatever.
Anyway, go down there, enjoy yourself if you like. Be safe, be smart. But I do know from a couple of people that I was talking to down there, they're planning to go to the game. Those tailgaters are not just there to tailgate, which is the case certainly places, Indiana is notorious for just having tailgaters that don't go to the game. So far, one not even a game in, one tailgate in, half a tailgate in, we have folks who are, we're going into the stadium. We're not going to miss this game.
Yeah, this is a big change from last year at this time when I'm pretty sure the stadium, the first game last year we had a great night game and then rain out. So that was quite the ending, but
the wrath of Tim Beckman.
2 years in a row.
But this year should be a good time, and lots of people out there. I know it's sorority recruitment, so that helps with the fraternities getting out there. So there should be a lot of guys. Hopefully, get a big crowd at the game.
Yeah, girls, if you're looking to pick up a frat guy, they're going to be there. That's exciting.
I already spoke to the men of Aggers down there. They had a bar set up that they had set up in the corner last night. If you look for it on Twitter, I sent out a photo of it. But they had a bar.
Oh, sure. Plug yourself on Twitter.
Excellent.
Try to pick up more followers.
At P. Bailey Wells, tweeting Illini things usually, some other things. But photo of a big old bar they had set up down there. Plenty to drink, but also plenty of people to talk to, things to play, games to play. Quite the setup down there. The other fun part of the tailgate down there was ran into the Dunlap family of Jalen Dunlap, number one corner. They were gonna have a good time matching T-shirts. Not even everyone was there, so I talked to his mother, and they just like those. She was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be down here every game. Like, we're having a great time." Took a couple photos of them. They were a fun bunch. So there are alums, students, families of players, fraternities. It's filling up down there, which is if you're Illinois football, that's what you want.
And I woke up, I rolled out of bed this morning, looked out the window, and I said, oh my goodness, is it not just a picture-perfect day for Saturday college football, especially with Illinois coming back here with their first game? I think it looks great, especially at Grange Grove, like you mentioned, Peter, especially with the color there, the orange and blue all around it, and the sun's shining off of it. Who could complain about what we have on our hands today with Illinois football going to kick off the 2016-2017 season? Crazy to say that Lovie Smith will begin his career as an Illini head coach today. Hopefully it's one that we see a lot of success in and one that has a lot of length to it as well.
Yeah, and let's talk right now about today's game. I guess I'll start with this question. Anybody can take it. What are you most looking forward to about today's game? Obviously, we've been talking about this team for a long, long time. We finally get to see the product on the field. So who wants it? Cole, what are you most excited?
I'm going to take this one. I am most excited to see Wes Lunt and Keyshawn Vaughn, see how well those guys do. Those are the two focal points of the offense. Wes Lunt should be maybe a NFL draftee. Keyshawn Vaughn, they're going to be focusing on him a lot more in the offense. The offense is the big question mark this year. I think the defense is going to be solid, but the offense is going to be the fun part.
I kind of wonder, we were talking about this sort of before we came on, but I kind of wonder how much Lovie Smith will show us, right? With UNC on the horizon, UNC and Georgia, of course, playing a big game today, but with UNC on the horizon for Illinois, and this game is really not in question. They're going to win this game, barring something incredible from Murray State. Illinois has got this game locked down, 30-something
Well,
point
David
favorites.
David did beat Goliath, and Illinois is not Goliath.
Yeah,
but
well.
you never know. Just saying.
But it makes you wonder whether Lovie will really extend garbage time, pull the starters early if they're up by double digits. Let Lunt sit, not get him injured. Let Keyshawn sit so he has fresh legs for next week. Let some of those defensive starters sit. And, it helps him because he can get some of these young guns. There are plenty of seniors this year, but when they get to next year and they lose something like, I think it's 12 seniors starting, at least in the lineups right now, they're going to...
Especially losing Wes, that'll be a big hit.
Exactly. So if they can get Chase Crouch, Jeff George, they get some of these backup, these young receivers some minutes now. I know there's some injuries and things like that, so we'll see. But I do wonder. I think Lovie's going to extend the garbage time pretty. I think those starters are going to be out by the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I think it'll be a slow start for Illinois, though, on the offense. I think they're going to have to get that rhythm because I think it's going to been a little bit before we can see a good offensive performance. But hopefully by the second half, I think we'll get the garbage time.
It's worth noting that Garrick McGee's old offense at Louisville just scored 70 points this weekend, or earlier this week. So that's any. We were talking about that yesterday, Jeff, and I know you're a little skeptical, but
yeah, I think there's a big difference just right from the eye perspective. I don't know the eye test, I should say. I don't know too much about Louisville right now to begin this season, but
what?
Just
How?
You didn't.
All I saw is that they have a quarterback that can run. All right, I don't think Wes Lunt's going to be doing any running today or at any time of
Maybe
this
the last
season,
game we'll see a slide or two.
Yeah, maybe a slide or two if we're lucky, but that definitely is a big difference that we won't see on the field today. But hopefully we'll get to see Wes's arm. He should be throwing down the field if they give him the opportunity, and if the blocking up front is doing well too. Joe Spencer, though, could be out today. Most likely will be out today.
It looks like he probably.
Didn't they say at the QB club yesterday?
The QB club yesterday, Lovie said that it was pretty doubtful, and that means Nick Allegretti slides in over to center. Any number of a few different guys could step into Allegretti's guard spot. I don't think that's a big deal. It's better for them to have Spencer healthy. He's a captain. They're not going to be getting injured long term for Murray State.
Yeah. And, I want to say back to the Wes Lunt thing, if we have to see him run it all today, that's a bad, bad thing. This offensive line, even with a couple of new starters, even with Spencer out, should be, able to easily take care of this Murray State defensive line. You're talking about a front seven that gave up 200 yards on the ground a game last year. That Murray State defense is bad. So, I don't know. Wes should be able to stand tall in the pocket and have all the time in the world and make any throw he wants to.
Who do you think scores the first touchdown? Any of you? Kevin?
Keyshawn
Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn.
Yeah, I would guess that they kind of go down the field methodically, and because they've been talking so much about how they want to get the running game going, and you would think against a bad or very, very bad defense that they would be able to do so with some ease. So I kind of have a feeling they'll just sort of go down the field 5, 6, 7 yards at a time and then pound it in.
Yeah, Go ahead.
All right, going on that point though, it'll be interesting to see how long the offense is actually on the field this game. Because last year, it always seemed like our defense was on the field for 3/4 of the game, and our offense was going out. They would either score really fast or go 3 and out, so they weren't out there very long. It'll be interesting to see if the defense, which they've been saying, is going after the ball a lot more. It's not working on stopping the opponents, looking for the ball. So it'll be interesting to see how long the defense stays out there on a possession and how long the offense stays out there on a possession.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that, Lovie Smith's old Bears defenses, they did not spend a lot of time on the field. They like to, grip and rip that thing and get the offense back on. That's the goal. And when you the reason they're running the ball so much is to get the defense out there less. So, I think that the time of possession in this game, at least for the first half while they're still playing seriously, should be pretty interesting.
It's worth noting, too, Murray State's defense, at least last year, not only worse, really bad in the country, but that's really bad in the FCS. This is one of the worst defenses Illinois could possibly play. Definitely the worst they'll play all season, but of any team anywhere, this is one of the worst defenses they could play. On the other hand, this is second best passing offense in the FCS last season, and they got an all preseason All-American quarterback. Should Illinois fans be worried that will pose problems, or is it unlikely that he'll do any damage from it? What do you think?
I don't think so. I think they're a strong defensive team, and they're based on a coach who is known for his defense. So Lovie, I think, has got this in the bag in terms of the defensive performance today, and Smoot should show us a good time. But I don't think Illinois has anything to worry about. They came out strong with defense last year, and I think that carries over again this year.
Yeah, Illinois and Western Illinois, last season. That was the only Illini FCS game, and they won 44-0. I think 5 first downs for Western Illinois in that game total. And they had their quarterback threw for 28 yards on 9 completions with
Heck of a day.
2 interceptions. So, I mean, yeah, Illinois' got a great track record, 15-0 against FCS teams. It would seem this one is in the bag, but it will be interesting to see, especially if they get subs out there and Murray State's starters remain. Whether Murray State will be able to move the ball or not.
Is there a specific player on defense that any of you guys are excited to see about? There was a couple of good position battles, both at linebacker and in the secondary. So
I'm looking at probably in the secondary, not the corners so much because it's not like corners. It's more about the physicality and the athleticism, and you're just not going to get that against Murray State. But like safeties, especially coming up to help run, stop the run, dropping into their drops on defense in the deep 2. Julian Hilton's a sophomore, and he's starting. Taylor Barton's been there forever, it seems, started for the last 80 years at Illinois' safety spot. So it'll be interesting to see, if there's a mistake or two from that group, or if they go mistake-free. Yeah, you can still do your drops and do your, and make your breaks and do all that stuff correctly against a below-average team, even if the physicality and athleticism isn't on the same level.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Hardy Nickerson Jr. I want to see, will he really own this defense? Because right now, that's what I think. Obviously, I think DeJuan Smoot is the best player on this defense, but in the scheme that Lovie and Hardy are going to run, the most important position is that Mike linebacker. It always was in Chicago with Brian Urlacher, and I think it absolutely will be with Hardy. How many tackles did he have last year at Cal?
Like 112.
Like 112. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
3rd in the Pac-12.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I expect those kind of numbers from him. I think he'll thrive in this defense, and I'm really excited to see if he's as good as advertised. I think he is, but we haven't gotten to see him yet.
I think you're right, Kevin. I'm going to have my eyes on the linebackers today because if we want the game to be interesting, Katie Humphries is going to have to be spectacular at the quarterback position today for Murray State, and for him to do that, I would imagine he's got to be a threat for his feet and then for his arm as well. The linebackers are going to have to keep their eyes on him today and make sure they're either containing him or locking down his receivers that may be sneaking in to the secondary as well. Not saying it's going to be a close game, but maybe for the first quarter or second quarter, the linebackers versus Katie Humphries will definitely be something that I have my eyes on.
Well, that's an interesting question. Does anybody think that, with the big playability that Katie Humphries does have, could he break one into the secondary? Do we envision a blunder from the Illinois defense, or do we think that they're just going to kind of take care of business with them?
I mean, I do think the first quarter is going to be close. I mean, it's the first game out, and it is a whole new coaching staff, so that's going to pose its own. I mean, they've been with them the whole summer, but it's still going to pose its own problems on the field against competition. So I do think it'll be a close battle in the first quarter.
Katie Humphries is not, if I remember correctly, and I'm pulling up some stats, is not really a running quarterback.
Yeah,
it's worth noting he's a 6'3", 225, stands in the pocket, can sling it. So he's going to be doing it with the pass rather than with the run.
I'm just saying, last year he's the team's second leading rusher.
Oh, sure.
So he definitely can move in that pocket. If he's going to have pressure like the defensive line should be pressuring him, if he can sneak out of that pocket and pick up any yards, whether it's a first down or just nearing a first down, I think his feet are going to still play a big role in this game if the offense wants to have any success.
It's worth noting his longest rush last season was 24 yards, and that was against Tennessee Tech, the fearsome Tennessee Tech defense.
What's Tennessee Tech's mascot / nickname?
I believe they're the Tigers.
Are they? Let's look it up.
If my trivia knowledge is up to par, I believe Tennessee Tech is the Tigers.
Tennessee Tech is the Golden Eagles. Nice try, Peter. But anyway, now we are going to have to
swing and a miss.
Yeah, swing and a big miss. 0-1. Good thing you got 2 more. But we're talking football here on the Daily Illini pregame show. But we're going to head to a quick break. We will be back in just 1 minute. Don't go anywhere, folks.
The Pygmalion Festival returns September 22nd through 24th, featuring Future Islands, Vince Staples,
I just wanna dance with you, baby. Just don't
Louis the Child, Wolf Parade, Poster Children, and dozens more. Don't miss out on the marquee party of the fall. Music, tech, literature, maid, and food festival all in one place for Pygmalion in downtown Champaign and at the Krannert Center. Visit thepygmalionfestival.com and grab your tickets now.
Oh, I think my mic was live when I said that. Well, hey, welcome back. No, it wasn't. Anyway, welcome into the Daily Illini football pregame show. We're happy you're listening to us talk about football. The game is just about 2 hours and 15 minutes away. I hope a lot of you are out there tailgating, enjoying a nice cold brew, and maybe a brat or some other type of sausage product.
That was very American of you. Are you from the Midwest?
I am from the Midwest. You are right. So we're going to run through a bunch of questions here. What do we think about that? Some rapid-fire questions on this Illinois football game today, because honestly, we've spent so much time all flipping week talking about this game, and
it's been all freaking summer ever since Lovie was hired in March.
What else can you say? They're going to pound this Murray State team, but we got some prop questions. So let's start with a couple over-unders. Over-under on Westlunt passing yards, I'm going to set it at 183.5 yards. Over-under, starting with PETA.
I'm going to probably go with the under. I think I was saying during the break, I think we probably have Westlunt going for like 11 for 13, 11 for 14. He's done throwing the ball by the middle of the third quarter. He's no longer really going to be controlling the offense because he doesn't have to. More as a product of the game, not as a product of anything he's going to do wrong. So I bet like a nice 175 yards, 2 TDs.
Oh, you're just going barely under my over.
Yeah.
Under.
Just barely under. Yeah. I think he'll get an opportunity to stretch the field, but I don't think that they're going to be worried about airing it out because I think they'll be up by 20 points pretty quickly.
Under from Peter to Jeff.
That's a really good question, Kevin. I like the number as well.
Thank you.
183.5, is that what I'm looking at here?
Yeah, that's exactly what you're looking at.
All right, you know what? I'll take the over. Because I think Wes will play into the second half. I would think he's going to play at least to halfway through the third. It all depends on the score, of course, and we don't know what that case will be yet. But either way, they're still going to try to get their running game going. But I think that they want to get Wes in a rhythm with his receiving core as well come NC next week. I don't think they want to push off this game at all. And I would imagine that the coaching staff wants to use it as a tune-up for every aspect, and Wes will get his chances to throw the ball, and his receivers this year, they're going to make the big catches and make plays happen.
Absolutely. I like the boldness. I'm going to say he throws for 182 yards. So, obviously, that's the under on that one.
It's a narrow under.
Yeah, it's a narrow under. I think it's going to be really close. But, that was what my bookie in Vegas said. I called it.
Vegas lines or these lines?
These are Kevin McCarthy, Vegas. Give me a hotel in Vegas.
Okay.
The Bellagio / MGM Grand line of 183.5, which I'm taking the under 182.
All right. So, Charlotte, what do you think?
I'm going to go with just about under. Not quite 182, but maybe 170 or something. I think it's going to be he's going to have to find his rhythm, and I think it's going to take a little bit getting used to that receiving core and getting used to being on the field again with this new setup, but just about under, and he'll probably play, my guess is through middle half of the third quarter with you, Jeff, on that. He played, I don't think he was taken out in the second half or before the end of the second half any point last year, so I do think they'll keep him with that.
Yeah,
even with the big blowouts, I think he played into the third quarter.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Cole, I guess you're gonna have to play devil's advocate because you were saying during the break that you think he's definitely gonna.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely think he's going over 200 today. I don't know. He's like, this is a new offense. He hasn't been in an actual game with it. He's got to take some time to get used to it. I think the better that the more time he gets out there, the better he gets. And. Lovie's got to show some people stuff, the fan stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of with Peter on this. I don't think they're going to give away too many secrets with North Carolina coming next week. Oh, looks like we've got a caller. Yes! That always gets me excited. We'll get you on in just a minute, whoever you are. We want to go to this phone line?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, this does not, well...
What are you looking to say?
Oh, they're trying to get on the air. Well, maybe. We'll see what they have to say. Until then... Do they want to come on? Oh, yeah. Send it to the request line. What's the name?
Kevin lives for this.
Yeah, I live for this.
Ethan. All right.
And we're going to welcome Ethan onto the airwaves here.
You're coming on, Ethan.
Let's see. Can you hear us? Give me a second. Get the phone down. Yeah. Ethan, how are you?
How are you guys?
Doing well. What's going on, my man? What do you got to say?
I just wanted to know what you thought a successful season would be like in your eyes. What you think if it's a record or what you need to see on the field to deem 2016 a successful season for the Illini.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Ethan. I think that's a great question. Some of my guys couldn't hear that question. It was, what would be a successful season for Illinois? Maybe you could throw a record on that, wins and losses. If not that, he said, what kind of product do you want to see on the field? So 2016 would be a successful season if Illinois did what?
I'm going with if they went 6-6 and went to a bowl game. I don't think they're not going with any more than 6 wins in this season with the opening and all of that. I think a successful season for Illinois is 6-6.
Does it matter if they win the bowl game?
I don't think it does.
Reaching the bowl is
reaching the bowl
goal.
Is enough for Lovie in his first season. I mean, Beckman did not win his bowl game.
True.
That was a tough one, but I think it doesn't really matter. He's got already the fan support just to show that little step of progress. I think is enough for Illinois fans.
I think it's difficult to quantify. My answer to this is a little bit more out of the box. I would say that he makes Illinois relevant enough where he's able to get the types of recruits in that can truly change the program. So I think it's less about the product on the field this year, and it's more about what they can do moving forward. I think that might take 5 or 6 wins, and that buzz gets around Illinois football, then he can convince 4-star recruits, hey, come play for me.
Kind of going off of that, just starting a conversation and making people want to tune into these big games. Like this North Carolina game is huge on campus already, and we're a week away. And I think that's a big step in itself. You didn't have people excited for the second game of the season last year. It was very tough.
It was the Western Illinois game. There was not a lot to be said about that.
By the time we went to North Carolina, no one was very thrilled about that anyway. Everyone was expecting a major blowout. So this is exciting. Who knows what the score and the end game will be, but people are excited and going to want to show up.
And it's difficult this season because what's a successful season when you have this difficult of a schedule? I mean, I think this is a really tough non-conference schedule. Obviously, Murray State sucks. But then after that, North Carolina and Western Michigan.
Row the boat, Captain. We're going to row the boat with PJ next week.
I know. I think that's 2 weeks from now. You keep thinking that's next week. 2 weeks from now.
It's week 3. Sorry, folks.
Anyway, everybody's like overlooking Western Michigan. They're a very legitimate MAC opponent. So, I mean, that's a tough game. And obviously, North Carolina is ranked 22nd in the country. We'll see them against Georgia, how well they do. But then, your Big Ten schedule is no joke. Purdue, Rutgers, Minnesota are all winnable games. But Michigan State, Wisconsin, Michigan, Northwestern on the road, Iowa at home. There's a lot of tough games in there. So, I don't know. I think 6 wins would be a successful season, but I think it's more about the recruiting.
That Michigan road game will be a fun one.
Oh, they're going to get
pounded, but it'll be a fun one.
But we were talking about this yesterday on our Friday edition of Illini Drive, and I think it applies now. If Illinois wins a trap game, if Illinois plays upset to one of those teams, whether it's North Carolina, whether it's Iowa, you could even argue, Michigan State, if they're playing well, Nebraska, but if Illinois can be spoiler at least once, I mean, imagine. Yes, it seems entirely unlikely, but imagine if Illinois won that game in the Big House against Mr. Khaki Pants himself. Like that,
unlikely, but yes,
highly unlikely. But that totally plays to gets recruits excited. Gets the fan base certainly would just be electrified if they could pull off a win like that. But I think a top 25 win is maybe a good. I think again, make a bowl game would be good. I think win homecoming, maybe play competitively in that big night game on national TV versus UNC, but I think an upset, a signature win. Like we talked about last year, that was the whole thing was like, can Bill Cubitt get a signature win? And maybe not. Obviously, he didn't retain the job. But if Lovie Smith can get a signature win in his first year, he would be off to a flying colors kind of start.
I think that's a really interesting answer to the question, and I like Ethan's questions a lot because you could take it a lot of different ways. And I want to take it, specifically to one side of the ball. Another, way I would deem a successful season is that if this defense can have the type of care they keep talking about, if they can truly be a team that takes the football away consistently, if they can be as stingy as a lot of people think, and if Hardy Nickerson can really infuse everything that he claims he's going to into these guys. And so if DeJuan Smoot is as good as advertised, Rob Bain, Hardy Nickerson Jr., Taylor Barton gets it done in his senior year, if all these guys really come together and make Illinois defense into something where it has true character, I think that would be really exciting.
I'm with Charlotte on 6-6. I think, like Peter said, I'm kind of agreeing with people right now. Like Peter said, a signature win would be amazing. But I got them pegged going like a 5-game losing streak in the middle of the season there. But I want them to be competitive in those games. I don't want Ohio State. Obviously, they don't play Ohio State, but I don't want a team like Ohio State coming in and just wrecking us, just killing us. I want Illinois to be competitive in every single game because I think that Illinois is the trap team, like Peter said, I think last night. I think they are the trap team on a lot of
she my trap queen. Sorry.
I think with that, we should take a break.
Should we take a break?
Can we go straight into the song?
We'll see what kind of
Are we coming back on the air? I got more questions if you guys want to.
Oh, absolutely. I just think we all need to recover from the fact that you just tried to sing Trap Queen on the air.
Absolutely. Well, Ethan, thank you so much for the call. I love you, man. If anybody else wants to give us a call, we're on the air here, 217-337-1071. One more time, the number, 217-337-1071. Give us a call. Talk about whatever. Tell me what you're having at the tailgate. Tell me if you like, the way I sing. What's that song called? Trap Queen?
I think it's
I'm
called
surprised
Trap
you didn't
Queen.
start singing Call Me Maybe when you started talking
Oh.
If we get another caller.
I just met you.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I've got a beautiful
Cut.
tenor. I know. Anyway, I think we got to go. We'll be back in like 90 seconds. Stay tuned right here, WPGU 107.1. And I am back and better than ever before. Kevin McCarthy here, joined in studio by Jeff Omer, Peter Bailey-Wells, social media man Ryan Wilson. Please interact with us on the Twitter sphere. Although music's coming back in there, producer man. I liked it. Interact with us on Twitter at @DI_sports. We love hearing from you guys. And then, of course, Cole Hankey. And to my left, our wonderful sports editor, our fearless leader, Charlotte Carroll. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Illini football today.
Give us another question, Kevin.
Yeah, we're going to keep rolling with the prop questions because I think these are fun. So I just called my Vegas bookie while we were on break, and he has the Keyshawn Vaughn over-under rushing yards, just rushing yards total, at 107.1 yards, which is what we are on the air, WPGU. So 107.1 over-under on that number. We'll start with, how about you, Jeff?
Easily over.
Over, I like it.
Easily. Your bookie's got a low line for him right there. Not giving Keyshawn much love. We've been giving Keyshawn love all week long. We know what to expect from Keyshawn come today.
Yeah, I think it was kind of low. I just kind of wanted – honestly, I thought of that joke in the moment, and I was like, I got to. I just have to.
Well, Jeff, do you think over 200?
No chance.
No chance. Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
I got
let's-
Wes Lunt going over 200.
Let's set a
Keyshawn
true.
can't get
Okay,
there, too.
that first over-under was a joke because it went with the WPG 107.1 thing. Let's set it at 149.4.
I like that.
I'm just kidding. 149.5
Yeah.
over under that. So are you still over on that?
I'm going to go under that. I
Okay.
don't think he's going to break 150.
I like it.
I put him under 150, probably closer to a 140 number.
Yeah, I actually was just going to say 140, so I'll say 141 yards exactly. But I think that's a very, very solid game because I think he's only going to get, 18 carries because I think they'll get the backups involved quite a bit.
Let me ask the question. Backup running backs, can they hit 100 yards themselves? Maybe Kendrick Foster, maybe
Combined, you
Reggie
mean?
Corbin. Yeah, combined or one person. I mean, this is like the most porous rushing defense
Porous.
Illinois will face all
That's our
season.
fearless
Porous
Englishman.
has holes. That's right.
That's a
Porous
great
has
Peter
holes.
word.
Can let things through. So you think Murray State will let the 2 100-yard rushers?
I think they'll let the Illini through, but I do not think they will have 2 100-yard rushers. I think that's asking a lot for this young running back core. But I do think Vaughn will get, my guess is like 130 is what I'm going with about there. But I don't think anyone else is going to reach that 100-yard mark.
Yeah, I'm going to go the under on this one, too. They're going to focus on him a lot. I think he's going to get just bits and pieces all the way there, get to about 130, 120, 130 range.
Peter?
I think I'll probably, if it's 149.5, I'll probably take the under, but not very confidently.
Yeah.
I think there's a pretty good chance he could go off. Because, look, he could be at 120, winding down, and then bust a 50-yard run.
I was going to say, I could see him breaking the first run of the game for 80
exactly.
yards. So.
Josh Ferguson, I think it was the first play of the game against Texas State
2
years ago. He caught a screen,
pass.
but that's the kind of thing you can do against smaller schools. If you're a middling major team like Illinois, you can bust off big plays. So I don't know. I would take the under just because I would imagine he gets pulled pretty early. But I do think that there's a good chance that he could rip one off, like at the beginning of the second half, and then that'd be his last run of the game kind of thing.
I like this next question. How about leading receiver? I think this is an interesting one for this week because you talked about the porous front seven that they have. Their secondary is not very good either. I think they ranked last in the FCS last year in passing yards allowed. So leading receiver, who we got? We will start with PETA.
I like Malik Turner. He shows the big play potential. He for those keeping track, Geronimo Allison caught the touchdown at the end of that Nebraska game, but Malik Turner won the game by getting behind that Nebraska's secondary. Lunt got him the ball, but Malik Turner made the play that was the determining factor in that win, because Illinois was not going to score if not for that play. I'm relatively convinced. So I don't know. He's got the big play potential. He's got that. I would probably go with him. I don't think I'm not sure if he'll be the leading receiver all season, but I could see him. He's probably, him and Hardy and Des Kane are all athletes of a quality that Murray State does not have. So I bet that they'll be able to get behind guys, get double moves. They'll be just fine.
I wanted to say Malik Turner, but I'll change it up just to make things interesting. I'll go with Justin Hardy. I think he'll come back from his injury today and start strong now here with his redshirt senior year. I don't know how many receptions he'll get, maybe around 5 to 7, let's say. Pretty specific there. I think he'll be the leading receiver, maybe just shy of 100 yards. I think Wes is going to be throwing it around a lot today and trying to get a lot of guys involved in the passing game. So I wouldn't expect too much in terms of total yardage from Justin, but I still expect him to end up being on top of the rest of the receivers at the end of the day.
I also think it's worth noting that don't expect touchdowns out of these receivers unless they're long ones. They're going to throw to the tight ends in the red zone a lot. Yeah. Especially if they're healthy. I mean, assuming they stay healthy.
Yeah, I'll say Aurelius Ben or Brandon Lloyd takes the wide receiving load today for the Illini. Charlotte.
I was going to kind of disagree on that and see a little Tyler White in there.
Yeah.
Kevin was going retro with those names, by the way, in case you all didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think they still play for the team. I know that they're in the NFL. Actually, I don't know if they still are in the NFL. I'm going to Google
Brandon Lloyd was with somebody.
Brandon Lloyd is a former American football player.
Yeah, I think Aurelius Ben is as well.
According to Wiki. Yeah, I think Aurelius Ben's long
look
gone.
it up for us and get back. But I agree with you, Charlotte. I think that Tyler White, before he tore his ACL last year, was a legit.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
He's a big man.
Aurelius Ben, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thank you, Cole.
Coming in clutch, Cole.
Well, and Andrew Davis, too, 6'6". I mean, he's like a basketball player playing tight end. And he struggled last year coming out of junior college, but we've seen some of those guys take a jump second year out of JUCO.
Yeah. No, I think we'll see a lot from the tight ends. I don't think wide receiver-wise, I think Justin Hardy and Malik Turner will combine for a good amount of yards. But, again, getting used to, Lunt's a passer, but I think it'll go more to the tight end, especially when we get closer to the end zone. He's going to trust those guys.
I like that pick, yeah. Cole?
Yeah, wide receiver-wise, I like Justin Hardy. I think he's going to get a lot of yards filling for Mikey Dudek really well. Obviously he went down with the injury. Don't know what that was, but yeah, I agree with Peter that they're going to throw to the tight ends a lot in the red zone, keep the passes short, and then try to bust one off long every once in a while. Basic stuff.
Next question. Will DeJuan Smoot... Actually, I guess we'll say this is an over-under. 1.5 sacks for DeJuan Smoot.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
I guess that's a hard one to take the over on, but I could see someone taking it because...
Oh, I would definitely take the over.
Oh, you're going to take the over?
Yeah. I think he gets 2. But
Okay.
That's the over. I take it back, actually. I think he goes the under. I think someone on the defense could have 2 sacks. I'm just not sure it'll be Smoot because I think he might get double teamed.
I think Smoot will get 1.5 because I could see him and Bain connecting and just destroying this Katie Humphreys guy together. So I'll say 1.5 exactly.
It's so funny. They say Bain is the Joker on the team, which
Yeah,
is
he's
very
the goofball.
which is very hard to believe. It's kind of like
He looks intimidating, but apparently he's a real goof. I don't know. He had a great Snapchat takeover of Atlanta Athletics a couple weeks ago. And showed off his sense of humor. I don't know.
Wes Lunt seems like the least goofy guy on the team, but maybe he is. I don't know. I just think of Wes Lunt he's kind of a goon, but he's not a goof. Do you understand the distinction?
Yeah, I think so. Well, here's the thing, though. I think we're comparing him to an unrealistic standard because prior to Wes Lunt, we had Riley O'Toole, the Pumpkin King.
Did you see his Instagram photo today?
No, was
Folks,
it good?
Go check out Riley O'Toole's Instagram. He said he was first day college football kickoff. Here's a sweet picture of me from Camp Randall, #I broke this tackle, and he's getting absolutely wrecked by 3 Wisconsin defenders.
Just
it's
one
awesome.
of the all-time Illini senses of humor, Riley O'Toole.
Yeah.
And he was apparently a super prankster, too. There's all sorts of different, if you ask his teammates, he was apparently just pulling pranks on everyone. When they used to go to Camp Rantoul, I guess that he just was the king of busting people's chops, which doesn't surprise me. So I think that maybe we're, after having that, Westlunt is a little bit dull, but
Yeah.
maybe he should be. He's focused. He's certainly, there's no lack of focus from Westlunt.
Absolutely.
For what it's worth.
Yeah, he's got that whole NFL persona around him, I think.
He gets compared a lot to Lovie Smith, is what we've been talking about. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
mentioned
Oh,
that
in
on a
terms
lot
of
just that in
personality.
terms of personality-wise.
Sure.
He's very serious and isn't a yeller is a big thing.
I actually talked to Westlawn. I asked him at Big Ten Media Days over the summer. I asked him if there's any pranking going on in the Illinois locker room.
That's a good question.
What did he say?
He said no. He did not like the question. He kind of gave me
Really?
a chuckle. He was like, I didn't. No, not really. And I was like, that's a
Interesting.
real bummer. That's a real bummer. But
I heard Lovie's
respect
a
Riley
big
O'Toole.
prankster. That's what I've heard about Lovie Smith. Huge prankster.
Yeah.
So anyway, next question.
Sugar in the salt shaker and all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, before you read the next question, I got a good like somebody doing their best Lovie impression. I asked Malik Turner the other day when they named the captains who he voted for. I said, if you don't mind me asking, who'd you vote for? He kind of looked at me, kind of winked, kind of grinned, and he said, I voted for our leaders. It's like I even said, I was like, okay, that was a good answer, like good choice. He didn't want to reveal it, which is it's fine. It's just it's his prerogative, but it was a good taking after Lovie answer. I voted for our leaders. That was it.
They're allowed to vote for themselves in that.
I don't know. I
I
know
would think
Hardy
so.
Nickerson, the younger, said he voted for Smoot when asked. I think when asked by another reporter, I heard him say, oh yeah, I voted for Smoot.
I mean, the president of the United States gets to go vote for themselves as their civic duty. I mean, I don't know. My next question.
Anyway, back to questions.
How about a leading tackler not named Hardy Nickerson Jr.? So,
Who will probably lead the team in tackles every game?
Yeah, I think so. So, who do you think will be the second leading tackler of the game?
Charlotte?
This is a tough question. I mean, if you can look at the depth chart real quick.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at it right now, and I mean, Bain is not a bad option as a second leader. I think he's a good one to go with. He's a trusted guy now. He's getting older. He's a senior. Okay, that makes me feel old now because he's been there since I was. But I think he's the second guy this year.
I like Taylor Barton. He had 100 tackles 2 years ago before Fedulum
We're gonna
blew
miss
up
the Fed
Big Ten.
this year.
Yeah, we are going to miss the Fed.
We are going to miss that.
It's
presence in the
bad when
back.
your safeties are your leading tacklers, though. I will say that.
Oh yeah,
It's very
Hopefully.
bad, but we'll still miss that
Yeah.
reliability.
Barton's the kind of guy that can plug gaps in the run game, and especially if they try
Certainly.
to kick it outside, he comes up with speed and with usually a good angle. I mean, that's the thing, honestly. And he picked up a lot of tackles, but I will not miss TJ Neal watching Illinois. You watch his tape, so many missed holes. I mean, I can remember a play from Minnesota last year, I think, where they scored a touchdown. And yeah, he had 112 tackles. The guy plays at Auburn now, but he picked the wrong hole. He picked the wrong gap. He was not sticking to his assignment. And it's like, dude, then this is why Fedulum's getting all these tackles because, every 10th play, TJ Neal is guessing the wrong gap. The guy's going for 35 yards, and Fedge is the fastest player in the field and runs him down. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to miss that, to be fair. I do think Barton, in this game, could pick up plenty of tackles if he wants to because he'll be able to play fast and be aggressive. I don't think that'll be the case all year, but I think in this game, he's a good bet, especially being the most experienced.
Anybody else have any answers? Anything different?
I was thinking Barton as well, just simply because he always finds a way to get involved with the action on the defensive end, so why not give him a couple tackles as well.
I like it. Next prop question. Will we see Lovie Smith smile today? Will he smile? And it can be either during the game on the big board. It has to be seen on the big board. Or in the post-game presser. Will we see Lovie Smith's teeth in a way that makes you think he looks happy?
Are we talking no smirk smiles?
No,
This
it
is
can't
a
be the
teeth?
Lovie. Of course, well, on Periscope, people can see me. It can't be that Lovie face that's like that emoji that's just like... It's got to be like a little more like, it's got to be a big, beautiful, beaming smile. Will we see it? Will we see true joy on his
no.
face? I don't think so either.
I don't think we see that smile until Illinois wins the college football playoff later this year.
I love
Hot
that
takes.
prediction. I love that prediction.
Hottest of takes from Cole Hickey.
Yeah.
Did you see the 2-4? I think it was 24/7 Sports that said Illinois is going to win the Big Ten West. They had a
Really?
prediction. Yeah,
I believe
Wow.
it.
yeah, you didn't see that.
See, the Big Ten West isn't very good, though.
The Wild
They
Wild,
said-
the Wild
they
Wild
said
West.
10-4 or
10-2.
Sorry,
10-2.
10-2.
Way. So they lose to Michigan and Michigan State and then win everything else?
I
My.
saw that. That was going around.
My,
Friday.
oh my. What
Let's-
Illinois grad is
let's-
running that website?
Yeah.
Jeff is over here pumped because he picked Illinois. I think it was the
8-4.
most ambitious.
You had
8 wins.
8-4, baby.
Wow.
Illinois. Okay, somebody find that while I pull up the next
I can't
question.
believe I just said 10-4. That was
That-
weird.
Well, if they play,
alternate
if they
universe?
make it to the college football playoff, they could have theoretically go 10-4. because you played 14 games. Although I doubt they'd get there with 4 losses.
That requires getting there.
Yeah.
Next question: will Lovie Smith strike down a reporter for asking any questions he doesn't want to answer, like a question about North Carolina
Yes.
or anything?
Yes.
Strike down verbally, certainly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think. Well, he will. Maybe
He will do the Vulcan
Vulcan
death grip, and just someone's going to drop.
Yeah. No, so you think he will verbally shut someone down?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he probably will verbally shut all of us down. To be honest,
Kevin, I'm expecting a shutdown.
It's happened before this week.
Yeah, it's happened to me already once this week, and it's happened to me in the past before with
I
him. So
don't think we're going to get much from him today.
I don't think so either. I think he's going to continue to play that rookie head coach card that bothers me so much. It's like, you are not a rookie head coach. You do know about North Carolina, and you're just going to continue to use that for it'll be like his third year. He'll be like, it's just my third year here. I haven't seen, too much of Michigan. So it's like, you know exactly what you're going up against. Like, he's way smarter than he leads off, and it really bothers me.
Which is great, though, in terms of for Illinois for a change, as opposed to all the
That's
cards.
right. Well, this morning, this is going to be my mantra for the season, I've decided. Competency is running amok in the Illinois athletic department.
Yeah, and it feels weird.
It does. Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing,
Yeah.
but it's a
Huge
different.
change.
For Whitman and Gross to go do this run this morning with fans.
Wait, Gross was there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. Gross was there as well. Like, that's awesome. That's exactly what they should be doing. And for the last few years, it's been sort of stupidity run amok, or not stupidity, but sort of lack of control. And now competency. I'm going to repeat it every week. I think
I like
competency is running amok at Illinois.
That's a great Peter line.
No, I think Peter and Jeff, we've covered this team for 3 years, so we've seen just how much of a joke this Illinois football program has been in the past, and it's really great for a change to see that it is finally a professional organization. Check that out on my column in the Football Guide, but kind of said the same thing.
Plug.
Yeah, major plug, but it's great to see not only for the organization, for the fans, but also for the players themselves. Last year was very tough for them because it was constantly, what's going on this, what's going on here. They couldn't focus on football, which is what they're here to do, which is a great change for them, I think.
So one thing that I've just thought about when you said we've been covering the team for 3 years, Charlotte, is the idea that every Illinois coach that we've seen has always had good one-liners, whether it's the lasagna from Tim Beckman or something just that Bill Cuban had to say that he just was rambling off in a post-game press conference. So I'm wondering if we'll have anything along those lines from Lovie at all this year. Just one line, a couple words that are just going to be funny or stand out and send a message, I guess, and something that we can continue to play back and never stop enjoying it.
They're looking for a good bump.
I don't know. I mean, I'm the rookie, but that's not that exciting. I mean, that's not fun. Like, I don't think we're going to get any good hot takes from him.
I think you're just going to continue to get really simple answers where he doesn't really tell you anything.
Yeah.
That's how I felt so far. Like, that press conference on Monday was a joke.
Wow,
it
was just like pulling teeth. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't a joke.
I think we got more out of the players than we did.
Players. Wes. I mean, I love Wes Lunt. That guy. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that as a member of the media. If I'm being biased, but I mean, he's great. Like, he actually answers your questions thoughtfully. He sits there, he takes time to think, and he gives you a good answer. Obviously, he's extremely articulate.
Hardy Nickerson,
too.
The younger as well.
Yeah.
Lovie Smith, he's a Cal grad. Like, totally. Yeah. I mean, the kid, like, you say the word institution, and he knows
what it means,
how to use that word, which you could not say about members of that football team and other members of this university. Regular students.
I don't know if I could use that word. Actually.
There you go.
I really like all those guys. All the leaders on this team are really good with the media. Like, I think DeJuan Smoot's fantastic because he's very honest. He honestly seems like a really big, he's like a teddy bear. He gets so excited. I asked him, are you pumped, or what are you thinking for Saturday's game? And, I've never seen a smile like that. He was so excited.
We're going to ball out.
You'll get a smile from him.
Yeah, he got the biggest smile. He just goes, dude, we're going to ball out. And I was like...
That is the best answer I've ever heard.
I was like, dude, heck yeah. And so
Do you have that on air or on your tape?
Yeah, we played it earlier this week. It was one of the things we led with for the first Illini drive. So I think they're going to ball out today because that's what DeJuan Smoot told me. But anyway, yeah, the whole media professionalism, everything is so much better than it used to be. Yeah. I mean, we used to get laughed at constantly, and now... Hardy Nickerson Jr. said it. He's like, this is like an NFL team. I was over at Cal for 4 years, and this is like an NFL team.
I think it's great to see in terms of when you're talking about Wes, how much you love him. He's grown into the role as the quarterback, which is really cool to see. He was pretty quiet when he first started talking to media, I remember. First time we were able to talk with him, and he's a quiet guy, but he's grown into the leadership role, and that's going to fit him well, not only this year, but also for the NFL draft.
I've got an interesting prop question. So,
Actually, can I jump in real quick here? 'Cause
I guess. Why not?
I found the website 24/7 Sports saying Illinois. Oh, it says Ohio State is by and large the best team in the Big Ten. They're going to run away with it. That's what it says, and it says that Illinois has the best chance in the Big Ten West to win the entire conference at 10.9%.
And who's second? Iowa?
Wisconsin.
Wow.
Wisconsin's a
And what's Nebraska at?
I don't know. They just have Illinois and Wisconsin.
Well, I talked about it yesterday. I think Nebraska wins the Big Ten West. That team was like 30 seconds away from being a 9-win team last year with all of those really, close losses.
They had a really good offseason in terms of recruiting. I don't know how many of the guys are going to be impact players this year, but I don't know. That's a very
interesting, Cole. That is a rather sizzling take.
It is. One more question. I think this is a really interesting one. Who will be the Illini's leader in fantasy points? If we went traditional, standard fantasy league points like you do for NFL teams, 4 points for a passing touchdown, 6 for either a receiving or rushing. Every 25 passing yards is a point. Every 10 receiving or rushing yards is a point. Who gets the most fantasy points? You could also say the Illini defense if you wanted to.
I would go with kicker Chase McLaughlin.
Oh, that's a good
Just
answer.
out of left field, because to spice it up, I think they'll spread the ball around on offense. Maybe comes in, boots a few field goals, maybe like 5 or 6 extra points. The guy's looking at like a solid 12-point day. If Westlunt's out early, not a lot of,
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, or answer. I like that a lot. Chase McLaughlin. Next.
I think in our time here, we've seen too many inconsistent kickers. So I do not want to say that the kicker is going to lead the team in fantasy points. And I don't even play fantasy football, so I don't really know how to keep track of points at all.
That's fine.
But I'll still go with Wes Lunt as the fantasy leader. I'm sure that may be a common pick, but I think he'll top Keyshawn Vaughn just enough to be the leader in fantasy points for the Illini.
Yeah, I'll take Keyshawn Vaughn. I think he gets like $140 on the ground. That's 14 points right there. And I think he pounds in 2 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. That's a big day. That's 26 fantasy points, folks. Plus, maybe he catches a couple of passes out of the backfield, a screen pass or something, maybe a little swing pass, maybe 30 yards in receiving. That's 29 fantasy points. Ain't nobody beating that. So I'll take Key.
I might have missed in the question. Is this a PPR league?
This is not a PPR league.
Oh, okay.
That's a very good question, though.
Yeah, then I'm going with Westlawn.
If it was a PPR league, you're going with Justin Hardy?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Thank you for that question. You know what? I should have made that more clear.
This entire conversation is confusing me. I do not play fantasy football at all, but
sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, I'm the sports editor. I should know what I'm doing with that, but I'm going to go with Vaughn. I think he's the leader this week.
All right. Player of the game before we go. Just who gets the game ball?
Hardy Nickerson.
Hardy Nickerson?
Yeah.
Charlotte?
Either Hardy or Wes, I think.
Jeff?
Nate Eckert.
Nate Eckert. I love that.
Nate
That's
Eckert.
a great
The
pick.
curveball.
That's a great pick. Cole?
I'm thinking I'm going to pick Julian Hilton.
I was just going to say that. No way.
Yep.
I was going to say Julian Hilton returns a pick
Yeah,
6.
he's going to get a big interception.
Say about him on Monday, can run as fast as anyone on the team, can jump higher.
I
than
might
anyone.
be a little bit biased when it comes to Julian Hilton.
Why is
he
that?
lived on my floor freshman year. He was the first football player I talked to. I was friends with him.
He's a nice kid.
Every time we were in the
I've had dinner with him
elevator,
before. I don't know if
it
he
was like,
knows
hey, what's up, man? How's it going? How's practice been? He's like, oh, I'm not playing yet. He was redshirted, obviously, but yeah, he. We're on a first name basis.
Cool, you're pretty.
Wow.
Cool, you're a pretty cool guy.
I know.
Yeah, Cole, you are pretty.
Don't flatter me.
I have a class with him this semester. He's a good kid, and he's smart. I mean, he knows what we had a class discussion about Colin Kaepernick yesterday, and for like a black football player in that class, that puts him on the spot a little bit with a bunch of regular students, and most of us being white. And he said what he had to say and said it very articulately, and it was
Everybody's waiting for him to raise his hand. That's
right, exactly.
Yeah.
He wasn't shying away. And interesting fun fact about him: he is a graduate of the, I believe, now defunct Lincoln Way North. Chicago suburbs folks can get a confirmation.
You're right. I'm
That's
looking
right.
at his
Lincoln Way North
right
Phoenix,
here. Yeah,
and that is
Lincoln
no
Way
longer a school.
all right.
Kind of interesting. But
Well,
Julian Hilton.
Okay, I like that pick.
Good
I was
pick.
going to say Julian Hilton, but now I feel like I'm required to change it. So I'll say Taylor Barton gets that pick 6. He
had
started
one-
his senior season. Yeah.
Did he have
Did he have
first?
one last year? Western Illinois.
Is
maybe.
his flow still rocking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw him at
Yeah.
Joe's the
I
other
haven't
day
seen him in a while.
with his
Nice.
dad. He had it. His parents were he was having a nice sort of family dinner at Joe's.
Oh, what's his beer of choice? Did you see?
I don't know if he was drinking the day before a game, to be honest with you.
Oh,
and I'm
this
not
was
just saying that to
yesterday.
cover his butt. I actually don't think he was.
Oh, good for him.
partaking. But he does it up in the bun.
Yeah, that's
He's
cool.
been known
Very
to do that,
stylish,
and but I asked him.
I'm thinking about going into for the bun for the game.
For those of you who are just listening and aren't watching on Periscope, Kevin's hair is luxurious today. It's really it's
got the
a
curl.
it's a
the
mane.
shine.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's
More
going
of a
on there.
mane than
It's
a
because
haircut.
I took a little nap at about 11 a.m. Who takes naps at 11? I don't know, but I did, and I woke up with very little time, so I showered quickly, and
Letting it air dry is the best.
Are you a moose guy?
well, not a mousse guy. I'm more of like if I had to choose, somewhere in between like a pomade and a cream type of thing. Either of those are good. Not a mousse guy necessarily, but as my hair gets longer, I don't know if there's any women listening. I think I'm going kind of bordering on that with my longer hair, and I think they know more about products that can handle longer hair.
So tweet.
So yeah, if you have
At Kevin.
yeah, tweet at me #hair talk or Kev, maybe Kev hair talk.
Kev's hair talk.
Kev's hair talk. Whatever.
I'll throw a tweet out there so you can kind of begin the following, but I think that's something that is worthy of discussion.
Because we're trying to figure out how to manage it right now, and I don't know. Right now, it's been a struggle.
That just be the topic of conversation every pregame show. We
Yes.
check in with
Kev's
your
hair talk.
Kev's hair talk.
Yeah, Cole.
I'm going to jump back to this prediction model thing.
Cole's going back to football.
We had
This is
Hey, I
actually
wanna
really
talk
fun. This is
football.
actually really fun. This is really fun, guys. Whatever this was that predicted these, has Illinois as number 20 in the top 50 preseason poll, just for the whole
This is
country.
247.
Yeah.
Are they
Wait, are you
watching
sure it's
this?
not just like a person, or is it the website predict?
No, it says this is a
It's like an aggregator.
yeah, and then it throws in. Guess where Michigan is at?
Where?
27.
Oh,
Illinois 20.
All right,
done.
there's
Michigan State barely squeaks in at 47.
I buy it.
Northwestern
I buy
at
it.
49.
Jeff's on board.
Yeah.
Speaking of Northwestern, thank you for bringing that up. They are down to Western Michigan right now.
PJ Fleck is
What?
rowing the boat.
Now the third quarter
Oh,
just started.
Northwestern is?
11:40 left in the third quarter, so it just got underway in Evanston. But it's 13-7.
I
Western
hate
Michigan.
Northwestern
I
so
hope
much.
they win, not just because I want Northwestern to lose, but it'll really make sure Illinois is ready to face
Oh,
Western
yeah.
Michigan.
I think that adds to the Chicago thing too. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Well,
I mean,
and better for Illinois' resume if they beat a
Yeah.
Western Michigan team that has a Big Ten win under its belt.
definitely.
That was the joke at Big Ten Media Days, by the way, is every reporter would tweet out like, Iowa is Chicago's Big Ten team, or like Rutgers is Chicago's Big Ten team, because it's just such a joke, And then Pat Fitzgerald forgot to welcome Lovie to the Big Ten, but he welcomed
the rivalry.
yeah, he welcomed what's the Maryland's guy's name, and is Hazel still coaching Purdue? I don't know. He welcomed everybody else that was new, but he forgot to welcome Lovie, so that was kind of funny.
I was so mad that was unintentional. I guess that made me.
I know.
I don't think
I
it
was
was
ready. I
unintentional.
was so ready
I
for
think
an
it's a PR
Anchorman
stunt.
style.
It was a total PR
Big
thing.
Ten head coach fight outside of
right.
Big Ten Media
Oh,
Days.
Lovie Smith.
Lovie, where'd you get that hand grenade?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't pick Lovie as the guy with
Jim
the hand
Harbaugh with
grenade.
a pitchfork?
Lovie
Something
Smith.
tells me Lovie's the guy riding the horse with the giant net.
Lovie Smith would wreck Pat Fitzgerald. I don't even care that Pat
That would
Fitzgerald
be,
has youth.
We would never
Let's look up
would never hope that they would fight each other, to be clear.
why?
But it would be
Oh,
interesting.
come on, speak for yourself
Oh.
here, man.
I would hope that neither of them would be.
Last game
They'd
of
have
the
the
season.
decorum. But those are both All-American linebackers in their glory days. So
Fitzgerald's got 17 years on him,
Fitzy.
but I think Lovie would take care of him with a simple right hook to the jaw. See ya, Fitz. God, honestly, I can't stand that guy.
I think that's a good note to end on.
That is a good note to end on. Thank you guys so much for listening.
And Ethan, call again next week if you like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan, if you're still listening, you're my favorite listener right now. Other than that guy last year, what did we call him? Like Uncle Jerry or something?
Wait, I think he called in on that guy. Well, shoot, what was his name?
Uncle? Uncle something?
Uncle something called in on Thursday.
That guy
but we
used to-
lost him because we were having so many technical difficulties.
He used to call us every single Monday just to I can't say that word online, to wail and moan about, whatever we were saying, and he always disagreed with us. He's a
But
fun
call
guy.
in next week and tell us what you think.
Yeah. We'll be on the air every day of the week now, Monday to Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. for Illini Drive. And then we're going to continue to do these football pregame shows. I don't think anybody else is on the air right now with Football Talk. So you should
We're a
definitely...
big deal.
Yeah, we are a big deal. So continue to listen to us. We're not exactly sure. Obviously, it'll change every week what time we're on because the game time changes. So just follow us at DI_sports and at the Daily Illini. And... we'll let you know when we'll be on the air. But that about wraps up this pregame show. Kickoff is exactly 1 hour and 43 minutes away. I hope you guys are enjoying your tailgates or your drives into the game. It should be a lot of fun today when the Illini take on Murray State as Lovie Smith's first game. So for Jeff Omer, Peter Bailey Wells, Ryan Wilson, Cole Henke, and Charlotte Carroll. It's just Charlotte. She's like Madonna. She only needs one name. And for Charlotte, I am Kevin McCarthy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see what the Illini do today. Should be fun.